Welcome back, my legends, to part 6 of the comics for season 6, and let's see if we can finally get some answers to what has been happening in the quest so far. So let's begin. At Pathfinder's warehouse. You're looking alive, eh? That's a start. No thanks to you, Blisk. 5 by 5, huh? That brings back some bloody memories. What other greatest hits you got playing up there, Ash? So what I can get from this scene is that Cuban Blisk seems a little bit shocked that Ash remembers who she is, and she was able to remember everything from the past, and that Ash remembers she was part of the Apex Predators, because the 5 by 5 thing is something that Viper used to say all the time. So the fact that she remembers everything now, Cuban Blisk was kind of shocked by that, but I think in a way this makes things better because now Ash can understand what Cuban is here for. And in the end he says, hey, what other greater hits do you have playing up there, Ash? So in other words, he wants to see how much does she remember, or if it's just like certain parts here and certain parts there but not everything. So that's why he asks. So yeah, moving on to the next scene. You tried to kill me. I didn't forget that. I wasn't killing you. I was stashing you away. I had no bloody choice. We had a deal and I was coming back eventually. Now this is kind of shocking. So it looks like Ash and Cuban Blisk had some kind of fight, and Ash was accusing him of trying to kill her, but then Cuban's like, no, I wasn't trying to kill you. I was just stashing you away, which I don't know if he's talking about how Ash ended up in the garbage can. And maybe, you know, what I think happened is that Hammond Robotics rebuilt Ash, and Ash didn't remember anything about who she was. So when Cuban found Ash and told her, hey, do you remember our deal we had? Ash is like, no, I don't know who you are, and I don't even know what deal you're talking about. So then he's like, okay, this is gonna make things complicated. So what I think he did is that he destroyed Ash and put her in the dumpster, so that way he can hide her from Hammond and the Syndicate. That way they think that Ash may have run away. That way Cuban doesn't get accused of doing anything funny. But unfortunately for Cuban, Pathfinder found her first and took her back to his house to rebuild Ash. And yeah, I think that's how it went. That fits perfectly in my eyes. That's why he was kind of shocked when Ash said 5 by 5. He's like, oh, so you remember now. So the next panel, something weird happens. We see something that happened some years ago. Cuban says, I had to be thorough, and Ash says, was there no other way? So in the next scene, we see that Cuban Bliss says, who knows, maybe it'll be a tropical paradise on the other side. I'm sorry. I understand. Good luck. You too, old friend. Ashes to ash. Ashes to ash. Ash. Yeet to ashes. If you ask me what's going on, I have no idea. All I saw is Cuban yeeted Ash to some kind of explosion in the sky. Now, my guess is that this is how Ash ended up on the other dimension of the Shadow World. If you look closely, these look like pieces, so I'm guessing this is Ash's head being separated when she went to the Shadow World dimension, because Cuban was holding her head and nothing else, and in season 5, the whole point of the quest was to collect Ash's head. So this could be how Ash actually ended up in the Shadow World dimension. So it looks like now we know how Ash ended up on the other side. Cuban threw her in the air so she can go over there so he can hide her. That's my best guess, because we do know is that Hammond and the Syndicate wanted some codes from Ash's head, and once they got them, I guess they rebuilt her and they were gonna make her like the next Revenant, but then, you know, she disappeared on them. So in the next scene we see that it says today. So now we're back in the present where Ash says, lies, I do not enjoy these games, Blisk. Hey, that's new, eh? You know, even after all these years, Ash, even at my old age. I'm still better than you. Don't forget that, eh? You're such a tease. If we're going to fight, let's fight. Maybe sometime, eh? But not now, Ash. Whatever this is, drop it. I just got word of an old friend of yours is back. The final chapter. The first ship. Now, I have no idea what just happened in this chapter. Cuban kind of told us how Ash ended up in maybe the Shadow World, and also how she ended up maybe in the dumpster, but he still sees that there's something off in Ash, because Ash shouldn't be trying to fight him, because like Ash said, hey, I understand, and that Cuban told us that they made a deal. So it looks like Ash doesn't remember everything, but I'm pretty sure Cuban's going to fill in the gaps. Now, the most important part is the end where Cuban says an old friend of yours is back. So it looks like somebody from the past maybe returning, maybe a Apex Predator, the OGs, and the most likely candidate is going to be Viper. A lot of people have been saying that Viper may be still alive because he was the only Apex Predator whose helmet didn't go off when you defeated him. So people were speculating that Viper could still be alive. So yeah, that will do it for today, my legends. We got some answers with more questions, and we see that Ash and Cuban made some deal in the past. Blisk was forced into doing something he didn't really want it to. And yeah, let me know what you think. It was kind of a weird chapter, and I'll see you for the final part next week. Peace.
With an unwavering tone, I'll keep on repenting for that night so long ago. Though your hands disappear, I'll still find the place where you are here.